welcome guys. Today we are going to talk about Mastriser and especially the firing and fixed firefighting system for Mastriser. So we are working on tankers. On tankers, fire is an ever-present hazard which is always there, and whenever you are doing loading or cargo operations, especially when you are doing loading operations, you will have gases coming out from the Mastriser. You can see a Mastriser right behind me. So today we'll be talking about this Mastriser fire. What happens if there is a fire on this Mastriser? How do we tackle it? What all arrangements we have on board to tackle this fire? So as I was discussing, especially if you're loading, whenever you're doing loading operations, you will have a lot of gases coming out. So what do we do if there is a fire? Today we are going to talk about this and see what all arrangements are there on this ship. But normally it is said whenever you are doing a loading operation and you have got a Mastriser fire, you should not stop loading, so that the gases will keep coming out and the fire will be outside the Mastriser and it will not go inside. So but we will see today how to extinguish the fire if there is a fire on the Mastriser. So to extinguish fire on Mastriser, one of the means that we have is foam monitor over here. So we can use this foam monitor to extinguish fire if there is a fire like on the Mastriser, you can see. So for that, what we'll have to do is we'll have to just unlock. There are two locks over here. We will unlock and then pull the foam monitor down and turn it towards the Mastriser. And after that, you can flood the area on the Mastriser with the foam, and this foam will try to extinguish the fire, and also it will cool down the Mastriser, and that is how we will be tackling this fire. And surely this, whenever there is a fire, we will be using this foam monitor for sure, but this might not extinguish the fire as of totally, but this we will be using it whenever there is a fire. Now let's see what we will do in other cases. Now first let's try to understand the Mastriser and its outfittings. You can see this Mastriser, it's got a line, it's got a Mastriser valve, and then it is connected to main line. From there it comes and then it is connected to, this line is connected to Mastriser. It forms a T over there, and the vertical section, the gases will escape from top, and bottom it has got a support. So that is how this Mastriser is connected to the main line. Now let's have a closer look. You can see here this red color box. This red color box is the box in which there is CO2 cylinders which are kept inside for extinguishing the fire if there is a fire in Mastriser. We'll be taking more closer look. First let's try to understand this Mastriser, how it is standing on these pipes. This is the inspection cover, and this bottom part, you see this bottom part, this is the support, and this Mastriser is sitting on top of this, and this is the inspection cover over here. So this inspection cover should be opened randomly, and then you should inspect, because with time you will have lot of rust particles settling down and the bottom part will get choked. You can see this is the line from where the CO2 will be coming and flooding the Mastriser. So you can have this area choked. So you should open this inspection cover and take out all the rust particles or dust, whatever is there inside. So that is what we have to do this. And on the other side we have got a drain over here. So this drain, we should always drain the Mastriser before we are doing any loading operation or you want to use the Mastriser, because what happens is all the gases, they have got lot of moisture, lot of vapors, they keep collecting down. So if you don't drain this, you will have a spray coming out of the Mastriser and you will have all this oil or water being sprayed on deck. So that's why you should collect all the drain from bottom, and then you can dispose the drain water in your residual tank or in slop tanks. We have got a ladder also for going on top of the Mastriser. That is the bottom platform of the Mastriser. This is the line which is connected to the CO2 box. We will see how this line is connected and how do we operate this CO2 box. So later in the video we will be seeing that. This box is always kept in readiness, and now this is the CO2 cylinder cabinet over here, and this box, you can see over here there is an IMO symbol for CO2. So this IMO symbol is here. So in night time also we can get some indication that there is a CO2 cylinder box over here, and outside we have got this operating instructions also for operating this CO2. So let's open the box and see what's there inside. It's very easy. You just open the door and we can see now we have got two cylinders, 1 and 2. So these cylinders are connected to the main line. We can see on the top, this is the cylinder over here. It is connected to this main line, and this main line, it goes down and then it goes out. So we can use these two cylinders as they are connected to the main line whenever it is required, and these cylinders will connected to the line and it will flood the Mastriser. Over here we have got a safety relief valve. For some reason, if your line gets choked or you are not able to release, so all these gases will be released on the outside of this box. You can see this is the drain, so all the gases will go out from that, but we don't want that to happen. Yeah, so if there is extra pressure, it will be released on that side. Now let's see how to operate this CO2 system if it is required to be used. For that, you have got a box over here. Inside box there is a valve which will be operating, and for opening this box you have got this key over here. So in case of emergency, you will be using this small hammer and will be breaking the glass, and will be using this key. But I have got a spare key, so I will not be breaking the glass. I am opening the box now. So this is the lever now which we have got inside. Before we operate the CO2 system, we have to open this valve. You can see the condition now, it is in closed condition. When we want to operate, we will be pulling the lever down and then you will be opening this valve. And after you open this valve, the line, this is how the line which is connected to this valve, and this valve is also will have to open for flooding this Mastriser. And then this CO2 gas will go and flood the whole Mastriser section, and that is how it will be extinguishing the fire. So inside the box now we will see few more things. We have just seen this valve, how to operate this valve, how these CO2 cylinders are connected, and for releasing the gas you have got this small safety pin. We will be taking out the pin and then we will be pulling the lever down, and once you pull the lever down, all the gas in this cylinder will be released. It will come down to this line. We have got a pressure gauge over here. We can see the pressure gauge, what is the pressure. If required, we can use the second cylinder and release the CO2 gas to the Mastriser. So this way we can release the cylinders one by one as required. So let's summarize again how to release the cylinders. So it's very simple. You just pull the pin and then you will have the gases released to the main line, and then this line will go down, and this line is connected to Mastriser, and all your CO2 gas will be flooded in the Mastriser vertical section, and that is how it will be extinguishing the fire. So also, before you release this CO2 extinguishers, we have to close the Mastriser valve. So we will see how this Mastriser valve, how it is connected, and what is the location of Mastriser. And let's go and have a look now at the Mastriser valve. So this is the Mastriser valve now. We have Mastriser, we can see here. This is connected to the main line. This main line is branched to all the tanks, and all the tanks lines are connected to this main line which is connected to this Mastriser. And we have got an Mastriser valve over here, and also a spectacle blank. So this spectacle blanks will help you to isolate the whole system, and you will be 100% sure that your system is isolated. If you want to do some maintenance on your Mastriser, your main line is isolated from the Mastriser. So you can just turn this spectacle blank, and even your valve is leaking, you are 100% sure that it is isolated. So we have now seen the Mastriser valve which is there, which is connected to this Mastriser, so which we will be closing before operating the CO2 system. Now I've got Chief Officer with me. He's going to go on top and he's going to show us how a Mastriser looks like from top, and then all the mesh and from where the gases are coming out. One more thing, as we can see, this Mastriser is quite high. So before you climb up any higher outfittings on the ship, you have to have a working aloft permit, which we have already filled this permit, and Chief Officer is going to climb this ladder, and then he's going to show us what is there on top.
We have seen the bottom part of the Mastriser where the CO2 cylinders are kept and how the CO2 is being released. And now we are seeing the top part of the Mastriser from where the chances of fire is there. This is the part from where the tank atmosphere, the hydrocarbon are being vented out into the atmosphere. So here will be the fire. Fire will happen in this place. What will happen when we put the CO2 from the bottom? The CO2 fill up the section of the Mastriser and the CO2 comes out of this section, and the fire is being extinguished. That is how the system works. And we have got a wire mesh in between these two flanges to prevent the fire from going inside. It kind of acts like a flame arrestor. And also before releasing the CO2, we can see that valve over there. That valve has to be kept shut so as to prevent the CO2 being released. The pressure should be there, so that it should be isolated from that part. And then we activate the CO2. The CO2 comes out from this part of the Mastriser, and the fire is extinguished. Also, the foam monitor will be pointed towards the Mastriser, and the foam can be activated, so which in turn which smothers the fire using the foam, and also it is acts as a cooling agent with the foam monitors. So that is also a firefighting medium. But we have got CO2 given particularly for fighting Mastriser fire, which you have seen down there at the CO2 cylinders. It is kept there at the bottom, and this is a very effective way to extinguish Mastriser fire. Mainly during loading operation, the gases coming out of the Mastriser is being extinguished using the CO2 cylinders kept bottom, and the valve will be closed and the CO2 will be activated, and the fire will be extinguished. This is how we fight the CO2, fight the Mastriser fire using the CO2 cylinders kept at the bottom.
So we just saw how to extinguish fire in a Mastriser. There could be other means of fighting fires on other ships. You might have different systems. I have seen systems like you will have some steam spray, you will have water jets. Like this, you will have you can have other systems also installed on your Mastriser to fight fire, but you will have something to fight fire. In some ships, if you don't have fixed system, you also have got a CO2 cylinder which you can connect to your Mastriser, and you can release in case of fire. So like this, we have got many systems for extinguishing fire. This was one of the systems which we have learned today, how to extinguish fire.